nail artist, if you enjoy Draw and Paint What You Regret on YouTube and you would like to show your support, you can find Cash App and Venmo information below. This channel is free to watch and learn from. If you like any of my art products, please go to mpbimage.com to purchase. If you purchase, make sure you leave a comment so my product maker know that you've purchased from the YouTube link. All right, James. So we have a little over 15
Oh,
minutes left. And I'm just gonna take out that the time because I think your drawing is getting to the place where it needs to be for figuring out our separation of light part from dark part. So I want to just kind of quickly go over or at least demonstrate what you need to look for when it comes to your shadow edge. I definitely do know when it comes to this photo is very dark depending on how it's printed out. The best lighting for the photo is probably on your computer screen, just to be honest.
yeah,
But depending on the ink that you have, how it's printed out, it's going to give you a difference of variation of what we are seeing. So I have it printed out in color and I also have it printed out in black and white. And for me, it's still a little bit too dark in black and white. So I'm going to use
yeah,
my color print so I can get a better idea of where his shadow edge is and where his cast shadow is. Because there's some areas where it gets a little murky. So here's the thing, we always want to make sure we are obliging by um the dominant light. So we know this area of his face is where the light is hitting. So this is important because that's going to help us understand where is the actual shadow edge. So we know this side of his face that's here, it's not getting any light. And we also know this part of his head is also not getting light because the head
right.
is rounding out, because of that modeling. So let's start with the dominant light. And let me put this back on up here. So I'm just going to quickly just get some shapes in,
Mhm.
very generic in so many ways. But I just want you to be able to see where the shadow edge is supposed to start. So we know that his shadow edge here, if we're starting in the hair or close to the hair, there's a shadow edge that's here. So you see how I am starting to um, use hatching lines or you could say
Right.
diagonal dashes, because I want to make sure that my line work, I have a clear understanding of what is my shadow edge. So my dashing lines is going to be my shadow edge. And also that definitely does help with transitioning your values. So I'm starting and I'm also what I'm doing, I'm looking at the photo at the same time. So what I am seeing, because I do know that there is a eye socket that's here. So I'm just going to quickly just draw in the eye socket because that eye socket is in shadow.
Mhm.
Um, and then when we think about the nose, because I'm going to have to kind of block in the nose, we want to make sure that we're starting with the baseline. So where that ball of the nose is, we want to make sure that we have that in because that is going to describe um, the bottom of our nose. So we need the baseline in that area. So this is kind of where his ball is, and this is the bottom of his nose. So the reason why I need to get that in because the baseline is a shadow edge. So I'm going to just kind of break up this line just a bit. So I have that there. So I know that is the shadow edge. And then we come down, there's a little bit of a shadow edge that comes over the mustache. Of course, the bottom of the mustache is in shadow. The top lip is in shadow. And then there is a bit of a cast shadow for the crease. And then the side of the chin, and there's the crease for his ball that's here. There, the cast shadow do run over his ball of his chin, and then I'm trying to get the shadow edge for his jawline, for what I can see. And let me get in a little bit of an idea of the jawline for you. So I'm using these dashes as well for that. And then also I need to just briefly draw in his ear. So um, I'm just going to block that in for right now so we can get some of the shadows that we're seeing for that. So light is in his ear, for what I can see. But there is a cast shadow under the ear. So I'm gonna kind of get that out. I know he has a shadow edge for his folds. So I'm just gonna draw that down. And he also has cast shadow. Um, draw that down. And there's also like a little bit of a cast shadow on the crease. Piece that is here. And I need to get a cast shadow for under the chin, for the canopy of the neck. So from here, make sure the camera's clear. So this is all of my shadow mapping so far because I have to oblige by where the light actually is. From here, I need to block out my shadow mask with my 45-degree angle hatchet line. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to block all of this out into one shape. So we want to, I'm moving fast, but you want to make sure that your lines are close together when you are doing this. Um, that way it makes a little bit more sense for you. And we have a smooth tone when we are doing this. So I'm getting under the mustache where the hair that's under his top lip is in shadow. There's a bit of a cast shadow for the bottom lip. The chin is in shadow. Trying to adjust the jaw, but all of this becomes one shape. We have a cast shadow in the back of the ear. This is where his fold is. So there's a shadow edge, cast shadow, shadow edge, cast shadow. Um, and then also I think there's more of a darker shadow that is here. Um, then where the head starts to turn away, there is a shadow edge that's in this area. So I'm trying to not get too confused because this part of the head is turning away from the light. So there is shadow that's in that area. Sorry, my little handout is blowing towards me. So I'm getting a shadow edge for the back of the head, right? Because
Mhm.
that part of the head is moving away from me and from my eye. There is areas of the ear that's in shadow. So I'm just using a little bit of an idea for that too, drawing that in. So although this is a very simplified version of the actual photo, but this gives you a better clear shadow mapping that you want for the head. So this is our underpainting. This is our separation of our light mask from our dark mask. And this is the
Right.
shadow mapping you want to make sure you have on your actual drawing. So I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to drop it in the chat for you. That way you have the
Okay.
image just in case you're like, okay, what did she say? You have some clear shapes to help you with your shadow mapping. Um, so let me do that right now and then drop it into the chat for you.
Okay.
All right. So, um, the images drop into your chat and you can just print it out whenever you're ready.
All right, got it. All right, have it.
All right. The eraser just gave out on me.
Mm-mm.
If we're using a cheap eraser.